Fáilte rás go háte goil tá muid ag gobar le fáilte Ireland le léargus nua a thuirtaíomh Éireann. Keep discovering one short break at a time.
Well, it's October and the countdown to Íotharna is on.
Mars Oldíomh Éire is the home of Halloween.
It sure is, Dhoireann. And this Jerifor, we're encouraging you to rediscover Halloween's true origins, Samhain, and experience its rich, immersive season.
Saran 360, it's not just one night of costumes and treats, Colony.
Absolutely not. There are so many things to see and do all over the country. Did somebody say 7 homes of Halloween hubs?
Go on, Louise, take over my coat there. I'm going to write these ones down.
So there's Galway City, Meath and Louth, Longford and Westmeath. There's Kerry, Fingal in County Dublin, Limnock, Kilcannig. Each hub offers an authentic celebration of Samhain here in Ireland, where it all began.
Thank you, Arthur. From Macnas to Halloween Howl to the Puka Festival and beyond, every corner of Éire comes alive with ancient energy and celebration at this time of year.
And it's not just music and mischief. There is so much more to enjoy, from food festivals like Savour in Kilkenny and Listowel Food Fair in Kerry to storytelling events and Samhain workshops Fud Fod na Tíre.
There is so much to see and do. Visit discoverireland.ie for some inspiration and plan your home of Halloween trip and figure out what's going on this Samhain season.
Sinead, Cuinnegarh ag 8 tríocht an Éireann. Colleen, did you know if you're aged between 25 and 65, well, you can get a free HPV cervical check. It's one of the best ways to protect yourself from cervical cancer.
And you know what? I actually checked only recently when mine was due, and no exaggeration, it took me less than 5 minutes.
Go on, Miss To-Do List.
That's me.
Well, can I show you, Dhoireann, just how easy it is, right?
Okay.
You open your phone, you go online to hse.ie/cervical check, put in your PPS number, stick in the date of birth, and then they tell you when your next appointment is due.
Oh my God, that's unreal.
And you can check you're on the register on the website, or you can phone 1-800 45 45 55.
Do you know, that is so straightforward, but we tend to put these things on the long finger.
We do. And it is worth saying, girls, even if you've had a normal screening test, you just shouldn't ever ignore the signs of cervical cancer, such as bleeding in between your periods or bleeding after sex. Call your GP right now if that's the case.
Yeah, 8 le the curp. Listen to your body. You know it better than anyone. Empower yourself.
If your test is due today, you can book it today or hse.ie/cervical check. Stephen Spotter of Harnashkity, how to gael, lumsa Dhoireann.
Lumps of Síomha.
Agus lumps Louise.
Colleen, I finally got you down to the People's Republic of Cork.
She only had to buy me 4 spicy margaritas last night to get me down.
Oh, okay. What were you enticing me with?
Well, come here. Now, listen, we put it into the WhatsApp group weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and there was just radar silence from Shiva, which, fair enough, you do have a good excuse. We'll leave you off.
Yeah, I wasn't going raving there in my condition.
To be honest, we weren't paying for 2 tickets, girl.
Fair enough.
Well, a couple of things. Tommy done stuff from Sounds from a Safe Harbour, which has brought us gCathair Chorcaí, which is amazing. And the story, Thaifead the shot, is there was a Pagan Rave, which they're just the fucking most amazing nights. And I bought a couple of tickets, and Louise was hot off the mark to book her place. And it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, now also talking about the ceiliúradh breithlá Dhoireann before we forget.
Guys.
Truckadome.
Virgo
on Hrúpa.
Yeah, and as I was saying, my
it.
Michael Collins' birthday, and where better place to celebrate it than a gCathair Chorcaí.
Exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, it was Shannon Rún mór a bhí na has to go doggy Pagan Rave, Gordon labhraímid, and in fairness, 8 o'clock Tranhona Ardeen, the rá yochagang and dinner. So we went in, and in fairness to you, Louise, there's not many people you could go to a rave with sober. But we did it, and we had a fucking great time. We danced in the rain for hours, and it was just...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And like to the point where we were actually having so much fun. Like we were in a childlike state. One thing would happen and we would laugh for 10 minutes. We were just being through, like, it's really spiritual experience.
It was wild.
And it's really like, I think for me, you go into this whole world of freedom that you're like, this is just so bananas that you either get on board with it or there's no point in being there.
Yeah.
So we were just co-immersed.
It was mad. And it was like all these mad little shapeshifters, you know. Yeah, it was...
From Limerick.
Yeah. Well, Dúirt was a Hannah. Dúirt was there in Bud Craig, Cooper Shock in Gnorst the Naked Glass, that running through a field with your mates at a festival is the closest you can get to Pagan Ireland.
Totally.
But I think Ruddy Casula and Pagan Raves, agus spás na Casula Shin, Saulig and Scale Town, you know.
It's crazy, like a kind of like a lár in the Carach. You know, busy, you know, a business city, Chorcaí. But I like 8 to 10 on a Thursday, like on a work night. Do you know what I mean? That you could go in. Yeah, I'm impressed, I have to say. I'm buying into your... No, sorry, says you're one who had 2 drinks. But I'm buying into your whole, you know, Vitas Raga to sober curious. And like, today, you know, you actually can go in there and have a crack like that when you're not like balúbas.
Sin an brontas brethe is far go worthy rith.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean?
Tá mé fáil
Tá she Abby in ish, I know.
I've got to say Cahor like Cooper Ground if we wanted to share them with the pod, but during Nílachon, I'm just going to say this because it's her birthday is a special treat. Love the handbag. Okay, if you ever need to buy a girl a gift or Aenrod, I've never seen a woman with an affiliation or grá for the Almala Skyla, the Almala Biog.
Yeah.
Like she had, like to say last night now, right? I think I put my finger on the pulse.
No, you're so on
she
the ball
likes
here.
the job, right? She likes to be doing something, okay?
I'm jobbing,
But jobbing, So the bag anyway, I was kind of observing her at one stage. The bag was on, the bag was off, the bag with crossbody, the bag was off, the bag was on. We were rooting in the bag. The makeup was out, makeup was in. We were zipping the bag, zipping the they're right. So then we get into a little tap Sorna for a drink, and we were like looking for somewhere to put up our coats in our bag. Here under the bar. Hooks, got the hook. Bag is off, bag is on.
Kate Custody in Mala if your insisters are hanging up.
No, it's Penny's choice. Yeah,
it's their fanny pack.
It's my little fanny pack. Yeah. Do you know, I've gone off I spent a ridiculous amount of money on a handbag last year that I never ever use. And these little things, they're so handy. Thanks be to God. I've been itching to put this on me. I can relax now. And I've my little bag of tricks here. Like, what'll I pull out? A chewing gum, a hairbrush, a fucking Covis. You just never know, girls.
Erin Shay this.
Erin Shay home. Well,
Dhoireann without a little Mala is an unhappy Dhoireann, I think.
Yeah, well, look, Féile Kill, you need to be zipping around, you need to be mobile, you need to be ready at any stage.
Once you zip a few.
No, lads, knock that shit.
No.
But yeah, what a vibe, Mar Féile Kill.
Yeah. So Tom and Shaw. Labhraímid son a ditch, woo! Labhraímid son a ditch, Labhraímid son a ditch.
Delighted.
Labhraímid son a ditch. We lost the harmony. We lost it. Go on, Shane Mockey.
Orna for play.
Delighted I'm haying now.
No, it's no coming to monkey.
It's no coming along, guys.
But you know what it is giving? Raspberry and chocolate vine.
Yeah.
So
No, have you seen the viral one? After the summer I turned pretty, fucking threw a hissy fit over some cake thing, and I was like, that's me. Anyway, look, I'm so delighted to hear myself.
Delighted, Thaifead. Tell the Chorcaí.
The little Máilín and the little cake. She's doing a hack.
Fádas tá Dhoireann ag cacha, tá chun leir faoi céir tá tacht san eagráin seo, so mar dormar támid ag an Béile sounds from Safe Harbour. Anseo a gcathair Chorcaí, agus bhíon deiscin leirt le níomhain de bháin ach le tror íana really specialta and támid chun a haglah sin a churmach na seach na roin and támid chun ar céad aglah a churmach san eagráin seo.
Yes, excited. So I think he's been on our wish list le fada. Scoláire úntach, duine úntach, alíonn tóir do chreite, Billy Mag Fhloinn, ó limnach ó ruachas achanis in iarthar agus okay, like to nerd out, by the time I've read like all of Billy's academic work, he's a fucking deadly scholar, but also is the mastermind behind the whole idea of the Pagan Rave, and it's just a very special person to be able to channel all that energy and to facilitate people in, entering this space of, like for me, really kind of like a tuairt on sale pagánach chun fearing you, Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I think of Ágamar sin agus go ligamm with óvéisiú len our chat le Billy.
Buin súpas an dríochs, lads. Well, Siolín, delighted le bheith an seo agus deirm seo go minic ach bíon excited a gcónaí agus mé go lúidir muintir limnaí Billy Mag Fhloinn. Tá sé go das lad all an ó limnach a bheith ar an pod gur míle maithe go as techt.
Tá man hásta bheith sa. Cé go bhfuil mí Chorcaí ach.
Léon
lei sin. Spianam Chorcaí cha mé rá ach ní héon limnach í.
No, tá ceart God. Well, listen, bhí mise agus Dhoireann ag gréibháil liberair agus bhí mise rá go Dhoireann your cheantas go raibh like indolence of 2009 is feeling all of these like memories coming back and ní lis go cén fá, but I was spotting these little limerick heads in the audience here agus an stáite. Can you tell us a little bit about the hail ag fás níos sa limnach agus conas mar bhí sé dit?
Is áte rudda bhí sa caint le babamach le háir ar meála seo, mar nuair a bhí mar a fása níos, bhí scoil stáite ag ma bháthir, agus bhíoch ma bham ag moine do leanna í chuna sa bhéir stáite áráníocht agus ringe, tap dance agus, speech and drama agus i le héad. Agus ma bhirt de fuair an san Jane níos sin ná mé agus Pam an té sóige há siad san an hóga leis an rud san bhí Jean sa West End feag tréimh sé bhí si léimi agus rudí mar
Oh
sin.
my God.
Agus móinin an bharrteacha fós I deantam a bháthir. Ach an rud a hála ná méhéin agus bab. Bhí mar gcónaí ag ghlacha páirtí seóna ag taú ag sais tuairtaíochta agus I déanamh festis agus sa lehéad mar sin ach ní rá mar riamh ar a stáite. Bhí mar sais allergic den stáite féin. Agus Dhoireann am líonanta brisin an dulchas hasagat. So, bhí an rud sa chúlar ar inne I gána I bhíoch an tig de hir lá festis costumes de gach sort. Saidóirí agus sioga agus faoin agus a lehéad. Agus dála míos chunas me sin fhála a chusáid nar I bhíos 3-4 just a carúla am a bháthir. Agus an san, chuas go dtí cláiste eilíne ar feadh bliana I limanach. Ach, in anad a bheith chuas staire ag tarach pictúirí, bhíos hí staire sa lála ní leamh láir meáil leis clocha agus meáil ar mélídas agus stair agus a lehéad. So tréis bliana, dhéanas fashion ar feadh tamlín an san sa chéad blian. Ach, baidí sas mar bheasta sa go raibh níos má dólaigm sa láir seachas an aíon ach. Cégur chá agus cláiste eilíne, níor a chág cláiste eilíne miseí agus stáilm. So chós go bla clia agus bhíos ag stadéis, bhíos dhéanas cuasa céim sa bhélidas agus sa teandálaíocht. Agus an san, le linn me chéime ar fad, bhíos fálam faoin an stair agus an seanna héal agus an tábhar an saol agus an cultúr ábhartha. Ach bhí dóiligm seachas a bheith dolamach déanamh tochail seandálaíochta, bhí sé déanamh mac a saoil do rudaí. So bhí na léamh meáil ar tua nó I clíomh nó rudaigin tegus in anan just a chálam faoi, bhí fánar mé dhéanamh. So bhís dhéanamh agus mac a saoil dhéanamh. Agus an san bhís a stadéir ar an mélidas leis agus chuas le linn mo stadéir chuas go dtí an bholgáir. Chuas go dtí féle clamaraachta sa bholgáir. So clamaracht gléitar mummingir as béarla agus gléitar cúceirí ar sa bholgáir. Agus bíon festis anna láidir, anna cheolmhar, siad anna ildate, agus dianta as láthair, agus dianta as cumá, agus aircine, agus rudí mar sin. So bhí sa láir na féile sa agus bhí buan na techt at sáthas an súd agus beidir go méocht trocha duine gléasta suas le aircha mór a grí agus ceann mór le folt mór grúige, an didimenóas, agus bhí cligíní móra íran agus creoacha. Agus ordanta bhíoh canan I lár buil agus bheidís de lácha canan. Black powder agus lehéad. So bhí sé chó láidir agus sé chomór I bhaimmarm nuair a bhí a saon. Gur bhartaí is gur bhailm le héad a dhéanamh me hénig. So bhí sa stadéir meáil ar féilire na bliana in éireann agus cultacha trí dianta do Lán Jolín. Lán Jolín go háirithe I gcuige mún ach na bidís chumá ar lá le bríide agus bíon clamaracht sa tuaisceart níos minicí agus gheofá buachalí trí ag go banis chumá brisin siad isteach ar a mailis. Beidir doséanachá agus cuidann siad deoch agus seanan siad is bíise do bhrince agus is an glanann siad amach le a hénig. So thógas é sin mar sppraga agus bhartaí is go bhhailm tuairtfé agus festis a dhéanamh cuidigh go bunathe ar chultúr na héireann, cuidigh go bunathe ar scialta agus metasólaíocht agus stair is bélidas. Agus is an cuidéile có a bhí bunathe ar rudaíoch agus thar leir agus cuidéile ríiste có nar a bunathe ar aon rud achmháin sais matholaíocht éinig agus go bhaim sé is sppracha ó annach rudaí, Game of Thrones agus Star Wars agus rudí mar sin. Motíf in a beagad the sun. Suirtí steach sa rud.
Céad a bhaint ro Star Wars an frilum ceistecur.
Bhí sa féchant ar léráid do General Grievous. So achtarán is sé agus sé istigh ar róbat a chail sé chuirt mar bhí sé chógartathe son. Ach noch sketch anna himplí don den nachtán an créúir sa nuair a bhí corpaige agus bhí fiocaile go bamach mar sin agus fiocaile eile go nuas. So dhéanas ag fidil as láthir agus bhí fiocaile agamsa ó tarc alads sin wild boar.
Of course.
No, sulla, counter.
Yeah, counter, yeah.
Bhí cnósacha go bhí sé ó seachcínacha, so chluáil sa steachiad sa láthir agus an san bhí an ag fidil sa chum. So just motífin a biogan, nu dhéonhin like character am lána ón delifí seach, just cían tú rudí simóile in sachas an súd. Ach, chun scéal garda dhéanamh de hen son, de bhéir chéile bhíanamh cultacha agus déanamh orlaisí ceol, agus bhí sa ceiliúradh níos sa rith dolamachar Jolín agus a léid. Agus an son thugas féin aire leis na daoine a bhí mór himplarum agus mé dhéanamh sa gur seo má legan do musical theatre. Bhí ceol ann, bhí festis ann, bhí thosaigh mo de bhórcha agus mar go háir ag lech a páirt, agus an son rith sé lomsa go mrisin an dóchas agus ní rás in ann éalú ó mo chúlare ach drid babisteachrum a réir bab is sé mar go háir agus bíonn sé ar a stáitse de hir ach déanann sé héile aigen na fideléir. Bhí sé mar lechad as na rubber bandas bliant ó hin. Agus chrid sé stachrum a réir agus dúirt sé lom the lengths we have to go to get on stage. Said we can't just go, we have to make it absolutely insane before we go on. Agus bhí an ceart ar fad aige, bí míad náirithe just al suas agus a bheith mar sin hénig ar a stáitse, so croimid ní a bhain charactéirí ach croimid aigene agus croimid cóhéachs agus dáin mór himple ar another fad.
Does it feel very normal for you as a family to be in that zone though?
Now, I know how insane it is.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
And that's who you are.
Yeah, it is. And like, I totally get that it's not normal. Like, and I'd be out in the shed for like 4 days making a costume and it's all like bones and bits of skulls and all this mad stuff. And then like, I say, okay, it's ready, I'm going to show it. So I'd go in and I'd like see the girls watching telly and I'd look at it and there's this big mad monster head looking in at them. And like, I know this is mental, but it's my life. Like, and they're like, oh yeah, here's your man again.
Here we go again.
Yeah, here you go on fiachar. Like, ní bhólinn sé siar iad an neachar.
Well, nach únta chun rud sin an cheis bhí gomsa this Billy was the girls always slag me because I always talk about liminality and the notion shows an tarsúlachas and like Candace na imachtaí na láthracha socha go sin anna potent ná ag na pagan raves agus an a láthráilm rubbeag meall ar notion sin an tarsúlachas.
Gandát, yeah, sa bíonn siad a maga fút mars scoláir inistó.
Nerds.
Listen, nerds nerding out, sinna dhéanamh. Yeah.
But it's féidir gachtain, okay, so that maybe sounds like a fancy word, but I think that everybody has felt that feeling.
Totally. Taking gachtain agus lí is nach mór rud a bhaidh inga chéin chultúr tí an dain. So van gennep anthropolí a bathe agus chuir sé bhreac sé sias an próséis seo don géadúir scríb sé leabhar le rith de passage the rites of passage. Agus deir sé tá tríród tá scara tá cléachló agus tá dulthar neis. Agus an scaran tú ón gnáhéal nó ón gnátham nó an gnáthid. Agus an san bíon cléachló aithríonn tú fadas go bhfuil tú istigh sa spás sa an spás a nachfuil na rialacha a bhaim agus sin conas gur féidir leat an cléachló mar níl na rialacha iad chiamád agus is sé leat aithriú an son. Agus an san nuair a há do éonúlacht nó a gut cá tú sír stechar do héal a ríist. Agus how come says High flute nerach tarlíonn sé a gcónaí like ag buach faointí an tail aithríonn sé sin aithríonn tú ó fetus le linn brethe go duine agus aithríonn an bhean ó duine a há ag úmpar cluine go máthir ina dhiag agus catha tú teachultain mar bháthir nó mar aithir nó mar duine pósta nó péir ó dé catha tú teachtaisteachar an saoil a ríist agus tú aithrithe. Agus duine mí dé tá in ágaltúir for bhór na galtúir timpeall an dain tá an rud san ann tá seairmna sí tá deasca nátha ann chun an cléach lús an a chur a bhaim. Agus like cían tú é go physiciúil tá áitina tá an tarseach féinnig, tarseach an tí féinnig, agus an son a dhéantar beseoga nó dríocht nó dégant, bíon an tuisce benathe in aice an doris, mar cadú tá héana a bheanú nar a hanú dul ón áit hocar hábháilta istigh sa tig amach go dtí an saoil ó Milan.
We missed agus during a Thaifead podcast with Dach Mishkata, and she was the one woman that told me she doesn't only bless herself going out story, she does it coming in as well.
Yeah, fair. Belt and braces.
No, absolutely.
But like you get the crew couple, Osciún an Dorish Chomá, and it's just about so we recognize that there are these liminal spaces, and at liminal spaces magic and any kind of rituals are more effective, and we get it with time as well. All the times psychologically you get it, le lína gréine aharíonn sé ó lá go híthe agus an clapholas san idir an solas is an didehacht is an son a harlíonn rudí aite. No, má bhíon clog eile go pin tú cuioine bhar meáníthe nóir héan tú le linn an éiliire ó lá go lá. Scéalta pócaí i gcónaí, like was the strike of midnight, agus bíon an clog a bóla agus go toban tarlíonn rud éigean that. So it's always on these turning points. And you get the turning points of the year, saoin aithríonn sé ó hára go dtíon ghéire a bhallart an son ó bhealtaine ó háan go bhealtaine an dálád an bhliain. Ceire rá na bliana agus bíon athhrú agus tá sníon túmach le rodnú agus bíon deasca nátha a buint le sin. We mark it in all kinds of ways. Your 18th birthday, that's your threshold from childhood to adulthood.
Yeah.
So you get your ahantas then. In religious context, you have your confirmation where you're expected to take responsibility for your religious upbringing or your religious future from that point on. So we do it so much, it's completely fitty-footy through
Do you have
human
a
culture.
favourite liminal time?
Well, I suppose, Samhain is my favourite for the crack because it's still very much alive, when All Hallows took over and it became Christian, that ensured its survival, and any sort of supernatural baggage that was allowed to persist came with it. So watching things evolve and watching things change, and then the religious festival of All Hallows becoming, a fun cultural festival, but also people sort of recognising as well, through their acknowledging their history and their past, that they want to give it a bit of juice again, and that's what we're doing with my project. They're not real ceremonies, they're not real rituals in that there's no official way to think about it. Tá sé fótainn péir a chain tusa as, but bhailinn an tréimhse son a chrothú, an 2 uair a chloig nó an 3 uair a chloig son a chrothú, nóir nach naithníonn tú na daoine a rót ní aithníonn tú an tam, cuma leat faoin mbáisteach, cuma leat faoin nuideacht. It's just something really intense and fascinating is happening. And I think people feel, especially girls, because we have a lot of Gaelic culture in it, but we're not exclusive about that at all. And I want as many people to resonate with this as possible. But this is our thing. And it's our thing for 2025. I'm not pretending it's anything ancient, even though I'm drawing from ancient motifs and ideas, but it is about us and what it means to be Irish in all that entails in 2025, and what it means more than to be Irish, because that just happens to be where we are. There's nothing special or terrible about it. It's just, this is our one, this is our patch. So let's dig deep and let's put down our roots, but then go free and go up and go out and explore and meet people where they are and give them permission and give them the space to enter into that transformative state, even if it's temporary and even if it is just, tahi or obair na saoil líochta. Bíon gáis, stáilmsa, go háirithe do dhaoine beidir nafad creidimh go. Agus sin cuid am a vision chomá sa tail, mar is ceiliúradh mé leis an cumandainachach. So bím sé mar áise thóir, dinim sé banisí le daoine, banisí glíthúla, agus dinim sé seairmna sí anim nó do leanaí nua, agus dinim socratíí chuma.
So bhí mis chun an ceise a chuirt mar hiic mé gur ceadúirthú agus de chail me se duine anna congrach dom im lína an is stoca an rud just tá sena jaachar cinnti ana bheith néim sin agus cúmar leis an rud uibreach ná an sépéal Catholic agus sin an seamas tá dahirir a casfam ceiscurt frí le na seanna fradisiún sin agus an bhfuil I don't know til a comport go bhéit na lurg ontú nó níl éon leis ar an gás seo but like inis leirlinn faoin na seanna fradisiún sin.
Well, lí han bás cho lochalach mar rud, agus mar deirtú tá cosán le amach roimh sa chultúir, agus ceann anna éfachtach agus is ceann anna láidir agus tugann sé takeíocht agus míú de chaine just titimisteach, because is dóilm in éirin hamid go maith ag an más, hamid go maith an tóirmh agus dolisteach agus an corp féinnig i dhuiscint agus féidir le lámh a leige éirin lenne, agus go míon fáilte rih gach mac máthir agus iníon máthir. So tail teachgaí an sacrt bíonn siad oscailte. Duine cultúir eile ordanta úntas go raibh go dtí sacrid máthir do bheas mar hampla le mar sin, níor bheithna go ar an duine san, but heastinnim takeíocht do hort an duine sáthá a héal. So tá go maith chuige, ach don té nach bhfuil an sais creidimh san, mana bhfuil tú mar bháil don Irish Catholicach cadú cuiineh go cuaramach cad ba bhealach, mar nóir a chain duine bás, agus is minic go chain duine a bás go toban is anmh go bheith tá an rud a leige amach. Agus duine duine gan dá duine duine agus deir siad ba bhheilm seo agus siúd agus níor bhheilm seo agus siúd. Ach mar sin héin há sé an éasca titimisteachar na seanna rithim agus mana bhfuil sé rintine go le héadí anmh nó má cheapan tú nach dahanóch an seanna rithim. Leis an duine há caiilte, cad tú a bheith crothach. Agus is féidir bra ar na rudaí tradiisiúnta go pointe áirithe, ach cosú leis an tugra crothach a há gom an ceann eile an Pagan Rave, cad tú bheith cuiineh ar conas go bhreastalíimiid ar daoine I bheitthe fiche cuaig. Agus há sé go súlis an ceol tradiisiúnta Dhoireann agus an saol tradiisiúnta agus an teanga agus gachrod, cad tú a bheith fréamhathe I do chultúir ach cad tú a bheith crothach ar an am ceanna, mar han tú a déanamh mac a saoil ar seanna rud mar a bhí ní leann ach piasa ón irsmile. Agus ní léonrod mí cheart lei sin, but níl éonrod ag ferbert agus ní léonrod dul agus ní cultúr bio é sin. So bím sé a féchant ar sena bhóna, trád á raibh hí annachid tréthe ag buint leis más in éireann bhíoch an tóirmh féinnig agus cluichí an tóirmh, agus bhíidir bríomhar agus bhíidir ordanta dána agus bhíidir lán de cheol agus ordanta begáín fréigeannach lán de chhlasanna, buchalí taí gléas de suas agus I grince agus I déanamh clamaricht a istigh I naca leis a gorp. Agus taína áire inis cín siad le cas a díal a bhíoch arsúla go, but bhíidir ag ceiliúradh in aig an bháis, bhíidir ag ceiliúradh agus ag déanamh seasamh láidir in aig an bháis. An cultúr féinnig an pobl is tócha. Agus nuair a bhíoch an cuine os ciún cuirp a dhéanamh acu, bhíoch daoine profisiúnta, daoine garamúla a raibh an ann filiocht a chuma, tobilíocht ar an deirt, méallarn sa Dhoireann seanna bhó chun sláán ceart a hágan leis an duine, agus ordanta bhíoch deis ag ban chéile aber dáméach an fear beganín freiginach léis úd, ach fós bhí sé ngrá leis agus is siad le cadre bheith anna chasta has a go féinnig, déitoch an bhean mar chud an bheilíocht sa é sin an nachta ó chóir a bhaintire, agus bachan álinn tú ba ahar úntaach tú do leanaí ordanta cháil tú an Amarca agus thug tú clout dom agus rudí mar sin nach fós heas is leat. Agus bhíoch an deis ann, an gachrod a bhí le rá a scaoil amach. Agus is trua lí go bhfuil sé sin caiilte, agus lí chomá na maná garimúla sa a bhí I man cointe. Bhíadar an ann, bhfuil thugadar cead don bobal agus d'airimh go háirithe na mthúcháin na scaoil amach. Mar bhíoch an chur fá, mar rá go daingan tú, óchón, ach leis a gur fá an son an gol. An óchón agus óchón agus óchón. Thug sé cead don bobal a bheith lethe agus ag canna. Agus fadamh go háirithe, cumad na mthúcháin isteach, toxic masculinity and all of that. Ní raibh cead acu agus thug an cultúr ceaddóibh an rud ar fad a scaoil amach I deanta chéile. Agus cécho sláin túúil is áise sin. Agus lí is mór an trúg go bhfuil an dearcha san caiilte ach ar nám ceanna ar an stáisiú réirlinn bhí róis. Agus há róis tréis a bheochantí an a bhar seo ina slí. Agus a ríist is rud len ar linne a ceol lectrach leistíir do. Agus is sais írsma de fihe cuaig sin. Ach fréamhathe sa tanarod, agus fréamhathe sa bhrí, agus sa dúchas, agus na móna a bhíoch ag a daine, chun ghlacha agus sláin tú le rudaí cosúla sem más. So, tréis líam le rudaí mar sin a bhíon arsúil ag a daine, agus bím sé ag cuioine bhar le héad me hénig, conas go bhétamíist motífanna an seanarod a chuirt linn agus a chur isteach I manisí. Tá sé frist ana bheith manis mar gachtain ceiliúradh. Tá I bhfad an níos mó freigarachta a gut le socrid agus cadú a bheith ar níos cuairimí go bhfuil forhórna naine sásta lei seo agus go réitigh sé leis an 6 duine a caiilte go bheith an rud ceart. Mar in áíre ní bhí an a gut ach seans a bháin chun sláán ceart a gágan leis an duine. Agus mar cheiliúradh an freigarachta ormsa a bheith mar áiseóir. Is minic nach míon aithne gomsa go persanta ar an duine a caiilte, so níl le déanamh gomsa ach áiseóireacht ar a bobbal agus ar a glán agus ligint dóibh siúd ach ríist just an spás tarseachólach sa a choscailt agus scaoile le daine an clechló a dhéanamh agus an slánach ágad. Nós even a bhíoch sa bhás ná gur chreid duine go raibh an corpáin an duine caiilte inán I chlós. Fecht 3 lá tréis a máis. So, a deise got an gachrad a bhí le rá got agus claisin siad tó sar a bhágan siad. A sé go hála. Agus sláin tú agus I bríon an stifs ar fad, sa bheon agus sa chraí agus, tá sicóíocht leistíir don rud ar fad a bhí ibrithe amach ag go daine le linn na gceata. Agus há dúlagus a rumsa a bheith cuioine bhar conas I freistal ar sin, agus freistal ar an bobbal a bhíon imlóra chun rudí a dhéanamh.
God Billy tá go leor son agus ní hasíoing tú cheimad róád an is tá gon tú am bhreúd an deir seachtar seo ach beidir mar focail scur ceam is an teachtarachtaí is cutííon de go gomíd ar an bud chréile an orgméimi de caiintmeallar an féidir goilech agus na hamta sin den bhríon so go mín míad héna ceiliúradh leis an nádúr agus na háirithe saolhíon de le go anyway págánachas Ancha Darnay story, they had a huge interest in paganism, but maybe don't come from backgrounds, where they would have been exposed to the Celtic calendar as such. Yeah. So what is the gateway drug for somebody to get into that?
Well, one of the biggest problems is we think we know more than we do about what was actually there. I've spent over 20 years trying to study this, and there is large amounts of some information there. We know, if you go back to Newgrange, for example, they were celebrating the rising of the sun on the morning after the longest night of the year. And that image must have been incredibly powerful. But ultimately, we have to imagine what it meant to people because there's no text left, there's nothing left. And paganism is such a broad word, it covers everything up to the coming of St. Patrick. So are you talking about 2,000 years ago, 3,000, 4,000 years ago? We know stuff is changing all the time. So for me, it's about an exploration. It's about exploring different ways that people looked at the world and different ways that they interacted with their environment and different ways in which they try to understand and address the bigger questions, which is what I'm doing. So really, I'm using it as a prism to look at the world. How did other people do this and what did they believe? And that's all it is. It's like looking at it from their perspective for a while in order to come back and look at things from my own perspective in 2025. You know, and mine is a humanist perspective, essentially. That's where I've landed. But I'm intellectually interested in how people looked at the past before. And then the trick when you are missing lots of material and lots of imagery and you want to use it, you want to say something about it, that's when you use your imagination and that's when you use your creativity. And that's what the project is about. It's about filling in the gaps and expressing it, not as some version of paganism or that it subscribes to any beliefs, but just that this is in our past. There is elements of it that resonate with people. Mar dúirt tú rith na bliana, no failure in na bliana. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian, Muslim, Jew, atheist, or a pagan, the darkest night of the year is still the darkest night, and the longest day of the year is still. And we all celebrate spring, summer, autumn, winter, and all of these things. And these are deeply elemental and basic about what it is to be human. We think about the environment in radically new ways because we have to now. We're in a different era, and our attitude to the natural world has to be based on that and what it is. But we can look at the past and see how people interacted. To a certain extent, we can see how people interacted with the past in order to find out and to probe these questions. It's all about, for me, you know, once you learn enough about it, it demands a response. So what's your answer? What is your answer? So I can't point you to a single source. There is no single source, but for me, archaeology is where I get a lot of information about it, learning about how people dealt with the dead. I think these are the biggest questions, but how people saw time as well, cosmology and things like that. So there are some really good books out there. John Waddell has a book called The Prehistoric Archaeology of Ireland, and that's a very good sort of starter primer for people to understand the material culture and some of the broader questions and themes and ideas that come through it. So that's a good start. It's a good solid, can't argue with it start.
Okay.
But there's lots of other things to do as well. And always take comfort when you run against brick walls. It's like, okay, the liturgy is lost. The real beliefs are lost. We know bits and pieces about what they did. But we're not trying to be ancient pagans. We're not. We're people of 2025. What are we trying to do? We're trying to answer questions about where we are now, rooted in the past, but it's about being of the now. So, úsáid de hálaíocht, feag spraga, ón saoil mar a bhí, ach bí mar ghine inis, agus bí mar phobal inis de chéile.
Nach sin. Gur míle mágad, Billy. Fair play an a bhuíochtaí.
Just go hauling.
Yeah.
Like a bus.
Pagan Rave sinné, Billy gur míle mágad as bheile in ar Chorcaí.
Na míle maithbis.
Billy McLean, cad ceapte bhná.
Do you know what? On Road really cheasmach dom san Avi Shira, like that he was going to find any way to get on stage, and I was like, you're in good company, girl.
Oh, he's the best.
He's let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
If anyone gave us an old costume, one of those heads are dressed as a squid would be up.
Louise,
Giving us socks.
get up and get
Everybody.
at it. I think that would be really...
No, you were like voguing on
Sorry,
shit. Not bad.
I got excited.
Kirking.
But you know, yeah, I love that idea. Like, really, what he's preaching over anything else is croiocht, you know, and it's really brad in my shin because I know we can be really constrained into our ideas of like what things should be and what they shouldn't be, and what a freeing thing.
Totally.
Yeah. Now I will say I think was a níos fusa the goine atá na gcónaí I ggurca goine tox ar an grothachas sin.
Yes.
So I just have to get myself down to Dangany Coosh.
There you go, girl.
Again.
Well, you were due to be there in der Seachtain na show, but
I know.
you blew them off for us.
Well, and my car broke down, guys.
Okay, fair.
My car broke down.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Torian Shay, you'll be a rash reach.
I had to pay €280 for a new key. But
I
anyway,
know.
bum with a ride.
Yups agus yaks na Seachtain na go on. Will yup na yak agat.
Do you know what? So I'm out in York and then creek over now to das. So
Okay.
for me on train on station train at Gnyov. Sorry, no, for me taxi view on station train at Gnyov.
Okay.
For me féin agus or in a taxi and Humor Strux taxi husni Roberta Ska Glen Kayla Degana Mariana Wood and Doris Antonia taxi. Oh, what's that foreign language you're speaking? Well, Sinead, like I don't think I got them on Yakavinu a Hilla. Just short Nick Kinnell attitudes echoing with lá ní le
Yeah.
mar gael sa tír seo, and I think I'll just
Agree with that.
talk to your granddads, guys.
Well, to lighten the mood, tá yup all bhór gomsa, and it comes in the form of a scarf.
Oh, go on.
Now, well, a rare, okay, chuir scarf nua, okay, tá gum, and it's kind of like a little, you know I love a neck scarf. I'm like, they're in a bag. So I like a
She
neck
likes
scarf on a
up
good
talking
now.
about her accessories.
So anyway, it was Macéadí amach leis an scarf show.
Yeah.
And much to Dhoireann's jealousy, which I love as well. I like
No,
kind
I
of
was
that.
absolutely jealous as
She
fuck,
was
yeah.
jealous of it, and that was really adding to my enjoyment of wearing it, you know.
Okay.
So I went to the raver deuce just kind of with it, you know, around my neck. I was like, little scarf.
Sorry, by the way, firstly, who goes to a rave with a neck scarf?
Louise Cantillon.
Louise Cantillon.
DJ Louise Cantillon.
Like, it wasn't like a scarf for warmth. It was like...
It was a
little
chiffon.
silk. No, it was ridiculous. Yeah.
But it was you know what I mean? Like it was vibes. It was
It was
giving
a
vibes.
vibe.
So anyway, in we go to the rave, and sé ag stala bostí a ní raibh like in Cockleena gum, and I was there. She goes anyway. I made one of those cool girl like
Yeah.
hood scarf.
Okay.
Ala, I'm grandmam. It was very
Ala,
cool.
Whatever it was, anyway, became my entire personality. The ear fat to the point. Nervy Reagan after party, I was like, come on, line up. I was giving people gold with the
Goes.
scarf.
Were you giving them goes, or were you insisting that they get a go?
There was a schooner there.
No, there was, in fairness, there actually, no, I wouldn't have believed it, only I saw it for myself. And she, like, honest to God now, people queuing up for a go for a scarf. I give you a go and trying to, and I know, in fairness to you, and do you know what I realised at the time? Okay, this is hilarious. I nearly died with the laughter of this. Like, everybody was like, God, and this scarf, and like, there was a real point of conversation for about 45 minutes. And we knocked a good bit of crack out of this. And people we'd never met before.
We're coming up. They were queuing up.
They're queuing
I'm
up
not
to have a go
joking.
with this scarf. No,
Did
seriously.
you not go to Reeve H. Leir Hannah? Just couldn't get a schoon you.
There was
Girls,
not.
we
it
were
was-
like
that
Mala.
was-
Sheep mentality, guys.
It was unbelievable. No, she was pulling all kinds of tricks with it. In fairness, she was now. In
You know,
fairness.
I went into my rhythmic gymnastics here.
Yeah. No, she do the whole lot. But it was only then we were like, I was talking to like a kind of in a subgroup of the queue that was going for a go of Louise's scarf. I was going, in fairness to her, like this, I don't know any other woman who'd really sell this kind of scarf thing, you know, to you. And I was only, do you know, Louise once convinced me to buy €100 scarf from Rixo. And I've never worn it. I've never worn it.
Shin on
She
Cara
did.
is with friends like that. Who needs enemies?
I mean,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and I was like, this is actually something she does. She will sell a scarf to you.
Maybe it's a hidden talent of mine after all.
Yeah.
If there is any
Of course
scarf
there's a
makers
go for
out
it.
there. Well, I met a girl, I'll tell you what, she's after crocheting her bra top yesterday, and she said to me, I'm not joking or blowing my own fucking horn here. She goes, I think after tonight I'm going to start crocheting scarves. So girls, watch this space, Chance Gomeg, you know, Lena merch, crochet
Oh
scarves
my
top. If you're
God.
interested, comment below.
You've heard of Aviochan the Gaelge. This is Aviochan the scarf. So Tasha the Tacht and Louise Cantillon is forging the path.
I'm
for
leading the troops.
And now, well, Mahu, anyway, I don't know a woman like you for it. Yeah.
Well, insert picture of scarf here, and can you make up your own mind about it? It'll be getting a second and third, maybe fourth outing. Get that Rixo out of hibernation.
Girl,
now.
I will actually. I think so.
Man.
I think it's time. You
Make it
inspired me
your new
last
album.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you inspired me last. The problem with the Rixo is Gucha Tommy. It doesn't
Yeah.
have the like. You had a great
girth.
yes. So
Yeah.
you know.
girthy scarves.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Aaron Oatshin, Tamil can book ride go gloosh on that
Yes,
grant.
absolutely.
I'm sick of talking about scarves.
Okay.
So Louis, Billy go in a ceiliúradh. So ceiliúradh is a celebrant.
Yes, yeah, we should gras. The couple of focal elegant Cadvian Shandaliach was archaeology. Bevradam ni small alamial and Shandaliach.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating.
I don't think I'm like crushed off with you, Grove May, a den of on Tassa Social.
Yeah. No, that's how to be a Shandali. That's an episode good. We definitely can do.
Oh yeah, Mother Anna again here, Shandali, like Helga.
Yeah. Well, there we'd have to get Billy on for episode 2.0.
Yeah.
Creative,
yeah.
I liked his take on that as well.
Yeah.
If you didn't have creative, find a little spas that works for you and make it your creative if it's scarce.
Absolutely.
Scarf away.
Shut up about the scarves. Pagonicus.
Now, she promised me as well. I was so green with envy over the scarf that she said she was going to buy me a little green
the
scarf
birthday,
for my
I am.
birthday.
Yeah.
But what I've realised is I'll have to get a bit of wear out of the other scarf before I introduce another one to the mix.
Start slow, we'll wean you in.
Anyway, go on, sorry. Tilla
Pagonicus.
Paganchus.
Agus Clamory.
Clamory,
yes,
yes, na mummers, yes, yeah.
So I don't go focus in cloisteach square go riomh anna.
Yeah, clamory and san clamarocht is like an gníomh de
Bheith a mun clamarochta.
Yeah, sinné.
Okay.
Fálam sin.
Yeah, and sé rí samú cos an áitna difriúla sa tír, like tá stílan na agsúla clamarochta an, so an sais clamarocht an Johan i'r chiúí tá sé aní friúla an glamarch an Johan a luch garman tog mis dras. Nu neshker dushker flakli nu go tachlár nu húsa lích mar whatever. So there you go. Sinné can ag me going enough gun still the clamarachta.
Well,
A Riglin. No better women.
An gahan clamory scarfla now.
Ours will.
Do you know what?
Yes.
Ours will.
Ours will.
There you go.
Well, Colleen, bhí sin anna hanavok. I'm so delighted going with until a massive feckin' gurmag to the Metropole Hotel. They've been great to us.
They've been deadly.
It's lovely to be here in these lovely chairs and lighting. Barra was mighty on the lighting and the camera.
Yeah, and sorry, a bougie hotel. Come to go downstairs now for a bit of dinner and a nice little cocktail.
Yeah, agus Garm would be a Louise Barker come a hookrig na hogglove doing. Yeah, we should know sounds for Safe Harbour.
Yeah, what a
Agus Molly.
festival.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh my
Chorcaí,
God.
you know.
And listen, while we're
Chorcaí.
at the thank yous, we'll also say Vault Ireland for sponsoring this episode. Gurmí Mag
guys.
We're in full video. Comment, like.
Yes, please comment. Actually, let us know. Carry on this Farger hat and faoin eagráin show and email us. Come on.
Woo. If
All
you're
right.
in the scarf business.
Oh,
we'll say no more.
Jesus. Okay, our note to
Aye, aye.
Stop.